Oatmeal, Jeanette here, and today I'm going to be making soap. I'm going to make soap out of soap I already made before, but I'm going to change it up a little bit and make it better. Last year I made a batch of soap that didn't turn out quite right because I didn't stir it long enough, I think. You can see on this soap, it didn't fully saponify all the way through. It kind of made layers because I've got different kinds of fat in it, and each layer did its action with the lye more than the other layer did, and so it came out layered and not quite right. It's still good soap. It doesn't feel quite as good as the other soap I've made, but last year I did take some of it and do what I'm going to do with it today, and it turned out really good. So what I did was incorporate oatmeal into the soap. I chopped it all up, I melted it down, and I stirred in oatmeal. The oatmeal adds a grit to it that's good for washing. In the summertime, our hands get really dirty when we're working with the produce. Picking tomatoes especially, you get this green all over your hands that you have to scrub and scrub and scrub to get off. And then just generally working in dirt, your hands get dirty. So I started using this soap with the scrubbing action of the oatmeal in it, and it helped to scrub the dirt off of our hands. But also, oatmeal acts as a soothing agent. It soothes your skin so that it not only scrubs all the oils off of it and all the dirt off of it, but then it has a soothing action also. Well, I've already worked at chopping up quite a bit of the soap. I'm taking a knife and slicing down through it. I'll show you how I do it in a minute, but it makes it pretty powdery with a few chunks. Okay, I just take my knife and holding my fingers up here so I know where to my knife knows where to slice. I just cut down through it. I've got a pretty good sized knife, and it's taking some pressure to do it, but I'm just chopping down through there. It seems to be kind of shredding itself as it's slicing. It's not just slicing slabs off, it's coming off in broken pieces. And then I'm just taking it and going across it like this to chop up the pieces so I don't have any big slivers. Small pieces as I can to dissolve quickly. I tried grating this with my grater, but it was treacherous and I didn't want to have skin in my soap. This method works very well. And then I just scoop it up and plop it in the pan. Next I'm going to put water in with the soap, and what I'm going to do is cover it with water. As I pour it in, I'll just stir it around a bit. Okay, it's pretty well covered there. I'm going to let this sit for a little while just to help dissolve the soap, make it softer, and then I'm going to heat it some on the stove. It's really dissolving pretty fast. It kind of went through a stage where it looked like cottage cheese. Now I can't decide what it looks like. Maybe partially ice cream with frozen chunks in it, maybe. But it's doing pretty good. I think I'm going to add a little bit more water to it probably because I'm going to need extra water with the oatmeal. I don't really want it to soak up the water, but it's going to have some moisture in order to stir it in okay and not just be a dry mass. I've moved it over to the stove, and I'm going to stir in some extra water. I've got the burner on so that it's on about medium. I don't want it to heat up too fast, but I'm going to start heating this to go ahead and get the soap dissolved in there and stir it periodically. Don't let it boil, but let it get good and hot. While that's working on the stove over there, I'm going to line this dish pan with this paper. I've got this roll of paper that I have no idea where it came from. It's been around a long time. An old guy was cleaning a closet out and found this paper and he said, "Do you want this?" I said, "Yes, I want that. I've been wishing for something like that." So this is going to work great to put into this dish pan so that I can pour the soap in there, and then the soap won't stick to the dish pan. It will come out with the paper and it'll all be good. You know what? Sometimes I confound myself. I just remembered that I bought this silicone mold for soap, so I'm going to use that. I think it's not going to hold the whole amount, but I will make do with something else. I'll pour what I can in here, and then, so scrap this idea. Over at the stove, things are happening. It's melting. The liquid's becoming clear down in there as it's melting. It's still got some pretty big chunks to go, but I'm going to start stirring it a lot and see if I can get it totally melted. This is my 1 bar of soap that I had left from what I made last year. As you can see here, it's pretty packed with oatmeal. I didn't skimp on the oatmeal. I wanted it in there for the scrubbing effect, and I also wanted it in there for the soothing effect. I was so happy with what I did with this last year that I'm doing it again this year. I've got it melted down pretty good. There's still a few little chunks in there, but what I see is it's actually trying to glob itself back together. So I'm ready to go ahead and get the oatmeal stirred into it. I've measured out 4 cups of oatmeal here. I'm not following a recipe, so I don't know exactly how much I need, but I'm gonna pour about 1/3 of it in there. I want it packed with oats because that's what does the scrubbing for me. And the rest of it. I feel like that's going to be about the right amount. Not too much, not too little. Alright, now we'll get ready and pour it into the mold. I've got my mold set up here. And then what I've got is some old yogurt cups that have been saved in the back of the cabinet for who knows how long. So I drug those out, and I'll use those if I can't get by with just this mold right here. I'm going to, hopefully without calamity, pour that in there. Try to spread the oats around in here a little better. It seemed like all the oats wanted to go in the middle and the liquid soap go around the edge, so I'm going to incorporate it better. Got my soap all taken up here in the big loaf pan, and then I've got 2, 4, 6 of these that are in the yogurt cups. That'll cool, and I'll just be able to pop those out of there. Now, if I was making soap from scratch, I would need to keep this warm for quite a while. But since this is already soap, all I've done is melt it down and mix it up. Then it can sit here on my table and cool. It doesn't have to be kept warm. The saponification action has already happened, so we don't have to do that again. I'll just let it cool. I'll pop it out, slice it, and I think I'll probably hold on to this video until I show you what it looks like. It's been 2 days since I made the soap, and I've got it dumped out here on my table, and I'm going to show you how it looks when I cut it up. Here it lies. It's a little bit soft, although it was softer when I dumped it out. On the bottom you can see that the foaminess floated up to the top. Well, I guess this was actually the top. I've got it lying down that way. So now I'm going to use this tool right here to slice down through it. It's good if it's soft whenever you want to cut it up, because it cuts easier. If you let it get hard, then it's really a challenge and it tends to break instead of being cut. it's a little bit sticky and right now, but as it ages, it will harden up. It's ready to use as far as safety is concerned, but it's too soft, and if I used it now, I think it would dissolve too fast. So I'm gonna let it dry for a while. I don't actually need it till summer, whenever, or at least whenever I start working in the greenhouse and come in with a lot of dirt on my hands. So that's a good deal. I'm happy with the way it turned out. Thanks for joining me on my soap making adventure. I hope you enjoyed it and I hope you learned something. So check in again and join me next time on the Neil's Homestead. Bye for now.